Hey there, YTPC. It's your boy Cosmo, the Cat Dad Piper. Just drinking some Bones from Dusk Till Jelly Donut coffee. And with it, I thought I would light up some Colt Blood Red Moon. If you've never had it, it's a really great cherry tobacco. And I just packed my grandfather's pipe. Boy, it must be... Until I just haven't had my coffee, I can't even come up with the word for pipe. Anyways, didn't have a lot to say today. Wanted to make a video, so I thought I'd get this lit and just share a bowl with you. So come sit, stay for a while. What? As you can tell, I just put some fluid into my Zippo, so it's flaming up really good. The neighbor behind me was just mowing, so I had to wait. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it sounds like he's got the weed whacker or the drill or something going on now. Heard my boy Marty meowing a minute ago. Don't know if that made it on camera though. Right now in the window next to me, my boy Jake is giving me a stare down. If you can hear it, Marty's howling right now. He does that if he wants attention. Sometimes, like if it's about this time, the other cats are taking a nap and I'm in the other room, Marty will get bored and go find an empty room, start meowing and howling like he's in pain or in agony. It's like, you're fine, Marty. We're in here. Come here. What? Pretty nice day out. Blue skies. Big, white, puffy clouds. I guess probably about mid-80s today. Not much of a breeze. But I'm in the shade, so it's nice. And, really lucky as far as the humidity. Haven't had hardly any this year. Or no. Was it? Good quick start. want to say it was about 2012. That summer was terrible. I remember coming home from, or getting out of a bar with some friends, the Lava Lounge. And it was like 11:30 at night. And it felt like lava outside. It was 11:30 at night. The temperature had gotten down to 92 degrees. 100% humidity. Air conditioning never felt so good that summer. We'll also probably get the humidity. We tend to get the hottest part of our summer, it seems like, in August. Which kind of sucks just from the standpoint that Iowa has their Iowa State Fair. I think it's usually about the second and third week in August. So it can be stupid humid and scorching hot. And you got all these people trying to walk around. I've been there, I think, 2 times. I wasn't there so much for the fair as I was for the concerts and the grandstands. First one I saw was 2001, so it would have been about a month before 9/11. He was kind of promoting his new album, which actually was coming out on 9/11. That's maybe another story. I remember picking up the album, but anyways, I got to see legendary Bob Dylan at the Iowa State Fair in 2001. No opening act, just him. And we had the cheap seats. We were like the second to last row. And if you've never been to the State Fair, right behind the stadium, or the front of the stadium, I guess, depending on how you look at it, but behind all the seats is like the main thoroughfare where all the food vendors are. And that year, about an hour before the concert, and we were already up in the seats, all of a sudden, we could smell smoke, and we heard fire trucks coming. And one of the biggest food tents that even had, like, I say indoor, but they basically had a huge tent for seating and had a enclosed kitchen area. Well, apparently somebody tried to put out a grease fire with water, which, if you don't know, doesn't work. Oil and water don't mix. They pretty much do the exact opposite of what you want. So a fire had started. And we had front row seats to that. It was, I don't know, maybe 50, 100 feet away. I'm terrible with distances, but we had bird's eye view to the action. I will say, whether it's in part to the coordinators of the state fair or the fire department or both, it was so well executed. It was amazing watching how fast they could clear that thoroughfare of people and get it blocked off and get access for the fire trucks. So they came, put out the fire, kind of taped off the area so nobody would go near. By the time they're done with that, it is maybe 15-20 minutes to showtime. Smoke was clearing. So, during the concert, there was these 3 kids. By kids, I say they're probably college age. Kind of the hipster hippie type. They ended up standing next to our seats in the aisle on the steps. Pretty much the entire show. I don't know where their actual seats were. Maybe they snuck in. I mean, we were like second to last row. But I had a feeling that they must have smoked something before the show, and it probably wasn't a pipe. Or if it was, it wasn't this type of pipe. Like, you know what I mean? Because they were dancing around, swaying their arms, free-spirited to the music, and it wasn't in sync. It's kind of humorous to watch. Pretty sure I could have just tapped one of them on the back and would have just caught them off guard enough that they would have went tumbling down the stairs. But anyways, so Bob Dylan came on, put on a good show. It was awesome seeing him live. I was probably peak Bob Dylan fandom at the time. Had most of his albums on CD. Hadn't gotten into vinyl at that point. But Bob Dylan's a little bit older, and some of you may know his voice has changed and gets a little bit harder to understand. That, with the fact that he seemed to have liked to sort of change the arrangement of the chorus or the melody, or both. Sometimes it took a while to figure out what song he was actually singing. I remember it was halfway through the second chorus of Knocking on Heaven's Door before I figured out what he was singing. So, what makes Dylan a true entertainer these days? He came on, did his concert, and he only did like a 40-minute set. Which kind of is like, well, I feel gypped, 40 minutes, that's not the longest concert by far. But then he came back on, do an encore. And I thought, okay, he'll come on, do another 2 songs, some of his hits. Maybe a 3rd song if we're really lucky. Not Bob Dylan. His set may have been 40 minutes, but his encore was an hour and a half. So it ended up being quite a long concert, but it was awesome. And then So they basically build a stage out in front of the seats, and you got your steel structure, and they got like a black curtain backdrop. Well, his tour bus was parked behind. So as soon as he got done with the encore, he got off, and they had fireworks scheduled, and we knew about it. But so, and they were scheduled for after the concert. So Bob Dylan got off, walked off behind the stage. About 2 minutes later, his tour bus slowly pulls away from behind the stage, and he drives off. And as he does it, the fireworks starts, and it was just kind of a magical moment. We have Dylan's tour bus pulling away. Fireworks are going off. Over on this side, on the right side, you could see the carnival rides, the Ferris wheel. Those are all lit up now because it was dark out. And we got a good fireworks show to end the night. However, as soon as the fireworks were done, it's like it almost as if on a cue. A big gust of wind came through the area. And all of a sudden, a huge wall of smoke from the fireworks just came blowing into the stadium. I mean, it was so thick, so heavy, that the entire audience was like rushing out of there, trying to get out of the stadium as fast as they could. It was like evacuating for a fire alarm or something like that. Anyways, that's my Bob Dylan story, I guess. I guess I didn't know I was going to be telling that, but there you go. I said it been a couple other times. The other time was for Sheryl Crow. Got to see her at State Fair. Big Sheryl Crow fan. Ever since her first album came out in the 90s. And Colby Kai opened for her. I was familiar with a few of her songs. But she had just come out with a more of a blues-centric album. So she did a lot of those, and she did a lot of her hits, but Sheryl Crow put on probably... Oh, sorry, allergies are killing me today. She put on probably one of the top 5 concerts I've ever been to. You could just tell that Sheryl Crow was a seasoned professional, a seasoned performer. She knew how to work the stage. She knew how to move around. She knew how to use the space. And she knew how to connect with the audience. She was friendly, lighthearted. Between all of her songs, she knew how to perform the songs to the top of ability. It was just top notch. Colby K was good too, but I wasn't there for her. Although I do enjoy some of her songs, I was there for Sheryl Crow. And then the third time that we were supposed to go to State Fair, and this is after my mother passed away, in 2011. I mean, my mother passed away in 2011. I don't remember what year the concert was, but it was shortly after that. My dad had won tickets on the radio, and the main act was Sugarland, which they're okay for country, but even though I'm an Iowa boy, country isn't my style. Unless it's like maybe Garth Brooks or Johnny Cash or Patsy Cline. But they're pretty good for country music. Anyways, I was excited because the opening act was Sarah Bareilles. And if you don't know who she is, she's kind of a pop rock, keyboard, piano rock. So we had won tickets. We had booked a hotel to stay the night. Because Des Moines probably, on average, 2 hours away. So we thought we'd make a weekend out of it. It was a Saturday night concert. So then about the Wednesday or Thursday before, they were putting on a concert. I think it was in Indiana. When a storm came up, and high wind storm, and I don't know if anybody remembers this. It was right before they were to go on, so it was a full stadium. You know, they had seats all the way up to the stage. But anyways, the storm, the wind, caused the stage to collapse. I think, if I remember, about 50 people died, or maybe 50 were killed or injured as a result of that accident. So Sugarland and Sarah Bareilles, out of, I guess, mourning for their fans, and also I'm sure it was a big traumatic event to go through if they were pretty much behind the stage waiting to go on, but they ended up canceling the concert that we had tickets for. So we called the grandstands, seeing if, we could maybe get if they were going to reschedule, or hard to say get a refund because we didn't pay for the tickets, but they basically said, well, we've got tickets for Cher and maybe somebody else. If you want, we can, transfer it to that. And neither one of us, especially me, had really interest to go to see Cher. Maybe it was like 1970 Cher, but not 2010s. And of course, it was too late to cancel the hotel. So we ended up going down there anyways, using the hotel. Made a weekend of it. And the night we were down there, we ended up going to dinner. I don't remember what it was called, but it was this really cool restaurant. It wasn't on Court Street, which downtown Des Moines, that's kind of like the main entertainment food district. And it's expanded to other parts of the city over the years, but that's kind of the known area. But we went to a restaurant that was down just a little bit off of Court, I think, or it was the end of the street. It was along the railroad tracks by the river. It was an authentic German restaurant. But it was in the old train station there. So it looked like a train station, but then you go inside and it looked like a German brew house or pub. Had a couple American type foods, but everything else was authentic German. I probably had a couple good beers. I think I had Schnitzel and sauerkraut. Great meal for my German blood. Between both sides of the family. I'm like half German, half Irish, so beer and brats is always a good time. But other than that, like I said, I didn't have anything I want to talk about. Still got a ways to go on this pipe, but I feel like I've been rambling on for a while now, so I guess I'll just kind of leave it at that. Hope your day finds you well whenever you see this. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so. Again, appreciate you joining me for a smoke. God bless, and we'll see you next time.